Have you ever walked away from someone, and later they start acting like they can't stop thinking about you? They pop up in your messages like, "Hey, just thinking about you." But you didn't do anything, did you? Here's the secret. You didn't have to. Let's talk about something powerful, something invisible, something silent, but loud in her heart. It's the space you leave behind. Yes, space. Not noise, not chasing, not explaining, not proving yourself every day with long texts, calls, or trying too hard. It's when you simply live your life, not for her, but for you. She starts to wonder, where did he go? What's he doing right now? Did he forget me? Wait, did I mess this up? Boom, now you're in her head. And here's what's wild. You didn't even say a word. That's the power of detachment. That's the quiet fire of absence. That's how you hijack her imagination, without saying a thing. But let me be clear. This isn't about ghosting. It's not about being cold. And it's definitely not about playing games. It's about being full. Full of your mission. Full of your purpose. Full of yourself in the best way possible. When a man is busy becoming better, that's when she starts looking back, because now she doesn't know everything about you. You left some mystery. You left some room for curiosity, and trust me, her mind, it fills in the blanks fast. She'll remember your laugh, the way you looked at her, the little things you said. And it won't let her go. Why? Because her imagination is working overtime. And you, my friend, are the reason. So, are you ready to learn how to create that space the right way? Ready to stop over-explaining and start living? The trap of always being there, and why it kills her curiosity. Imagine this. You walk into a candy store. Your favorite candy is everywhere, piled up, unlimited, free. At first you're excited, but after a while, you stop caring. Why? Because when it's always there, it's not special anymore. Now think about this. What happens when your attention is like that candy? Let's break it down. Most guys, they think being available 24/7 makes a girl feel loved. They answer every text in 2 seconds. They cancel their plans just to be with her. They try to prove again and again, I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. But here's the truth. That doesn't build attraction. That builds boredom. It doesn't make her chase you. It makes her ignore you. Because when something is always there, it fades into the background. It becomes easy to overlook. And when a man becomes too easy to reach, too predictable, too available, her imagination shuts off. There's no mystery, no wondering, no spark. Think about it. If she knows what you're doing, where you are, who you're with, and that you'll reply in 3, 2 dots, 1 dot, dot, dot. Where's the magic in that? That's not attraction. That's routine. And women, especially feminine women, don't crave routine. They crave emotional excitement. They want tension. They want the unknown. So when you're always there, you remove the very thing that keeps her curious. Space. Let that sink in. You don't have to disappear. You don't have to play games. But you do have to protect your time, guard your energy, and build a life where she's not the center of it. That's how she starts to feel something again. Because now, she doesn't know exactly when she'll hear from you. She doesn't know what you're thinking. She doesn't know if she still has you. And that little bit of uncertainty, That's what makes her imagination light up. Now she's thinking, is he pulling away? Is he seeing someone else? Did I mess up? And guess what? You're not pulling away. You're just living. Chasing kills attraction and makes you invisible to her mind. Have you ever seen someone chase a butterfly? The more they run toward it, the more it flies away. But the moment they sit still, the butterfly might land on their shoulder. That's exactly how attraction works. Now, let's talk about chasing. Most men think they have to chase. Buy flowers, send long texts, say good morning every single day. Be the first to call. Be the one who proves they care more. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Chasing makes you look weak. And weakness does not pull her in. It pushes her away. Because when you chase, you're not leading. You're following. You're reacting to her. You're showing her that she's the prize. And you're just hoping to be picked. That makes her feel two things. First, safe. Second, bored. Now you might say, but isn't safety good? Yes, but only when it's mixed with mystery, only when it feels earned. If a woman knows she can have your attention anytime, she doesn't value it. Why? Because your attention isn't rare, it's not special, it's just there. Like background music, like the wind, like noise. That's what chasing does. It removes your power. It tells her, my life doesn't matter as much as you do. And even if she likes you, even if she thinks you're kind, her heart won't race, her stomach won't flip, her imagination won't wake up. But when you stop chasing, something strange happens. She notices. She starts to think, wait, why isn't he texting me? Did he move on? Is he over me? Did I do something wrong? And that tiny bit of not knowing, that's what makes her think about you more, not less. She starts to wonder. She starts to remember. She starts to feel something deeper, not because you played games, but because you stopped chasing and started living. When you chase her, her mind relaxes. When you chase your purpose, her mind races. And when her mind races, you live rent-free in her thoughts. The power of silence. It's louder than you think. What if I told you, silence speaks louder than words? Not just a little louder, but so loud it echoes in her head when you're gone. Sounds crazy, right? But wait until you hear this. Here's the truth. You don't need to always talk. You don't need to always explain yourself. You don't need to keep filling the air with noise to keep her interested. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Sounds simple, but it's not. Why? Because silence makes people think. Silence creates space, and in that space, her imagination wakes up. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine you're texting her every day. She knows what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you feel. Now imagine, one day you go quiet, not angry, not cold, just quiet. You're out living your life. She doesn't hear from you. Now her mind goes, is he okay? What's he up to? Did I say something wrong? Why do I miss him? That quiet moment, that pause, that space you didn't fill, becomes a movie in her head, with you as the main character. This isn't about ignoring her. It's about giving her time to feel something. You see, when you're always available, she doesn't have to wonder. She doesn't have to imagine. She doesn't have to miss you. But when you get quiet, not in a mean way, but in a grounded, calm way, she starts to lean in. She thinks more. She feels more. She dreams more. And guess who she's dreaming about? You. Because the strongest voices are sometimes the ones that stop talking. Silence makes space. Space builds tension. And tension, that's what makes attraction grow. Not pressure, not chasing, just pure, still energy. Now, in the next stage, I'll show you how your purpose becomes the gravity that pulls her in, without you saying a word. Want to keep going? Your purpose is the magnet. She can't resist. What if the secret to attraction isn't in your looks, your money, or your charm, but in your mission? What if the thing that pulls her closer is the thing you're chasing when she's not even around? Let's get this clear. Women don't fall for a man who's trying to impress. They fall for a man who's already impressed with his own life. Think about it. A man with no direction, he wanders, he waits. He gives everything away just to be chosen. But a man on a mission, he moves with fire in his chest. He wakes up with focus. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's not just alive. He's becoming something. And guess what? She sees that. She feels that. A woman doesn't want to be your whole world. She wants to be part of a world that's already exciting, already moving, already full of meaning. When you make her your purpose, you put her under pressure. She becomes the sun you orbit, and over time, she burns out. But when you're lit up by your own goals, your fitness, your growth, your dream, your craft, you become the sun. You shine no matter who comes or goes, and women feel that warmth from miles away. Your purpose is your power. It's the fuel that keeps you grounded. It's the anchor that holds your value in place. Because when a man is driven by something bigger than her, he doesn't chase, he doesn't beg, he doesn't break. He just moves forward. And that motion, that calm, quiet motion towards something great, that's magnetic. So if you want her imagination to run wild, give her something real to dream about. Not just you, but the man you're becoming. Why she can't stop thinking about what she can't always have. Want to know what keeps a woman up at night? Thinking about you. It's not your texts. It's not your compliments. It's not even your time. It's your absence. But not just any absence. The kind that whispers, I'm not always easy to reach, and that makes me special. The calm power that makes her feel safe and drawn to you. What if I told you, the man who speaks the least, feels the deepest, and reacts the slowest, is the one she trusts the most? Not because he's trying to be mysterious, but because he's mastered something most never will. Emotional control. Have you ever seen a tree in a storm? The wind blows, the rain hits hard. The world shakes, but the tree stays rooted, strong, unshaken, still. That's you, when your emotions are in your hands, not all over the place. Most men, they chase when they're anxious. They overtalk when they're scared. They react fast when something triggers them. They get angry, or desperate, or needy. And guess what? It pushes her away. Now let's flip the story. Imagine this. She says something cold. You smile. nod, and say nothing. Not because you're playing games, but because your peace means more than any argument. She pulls away for a few days, and instead of panicking, you stay calm. You focus on your work, your fitness, your dreams. That stillness, that strength, it shakes her in a good way. She starts to think, why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't he begging for attention? Why do I feel like I need to go back to him? Boom. That's emotional control at work. It's not about ignoring feelings. It's about not letting those feelings own you. A man who doesn't beg becomes powerful. A man who doesn't react becomes rare. A man who stays grounded becomes unforgettable. Women want to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. And they feel that with the man who can keep his cool, even when things get messy, you become the anchor in her storm, not the storm itself. So, want to take it deeper? Next, I'll show you how real confidence doesn't come from what you wear, what you drive, or how many likes you get. It comes from something way more powerful. The secret confidence that doesn't speak, but everyone feels. What if you could walk into a room, say nothing, and still be the man she can't stop thinking about? Not because of your clothes, not because of your money, but because of your energy. Yeah, real confidence doesn't talk, it radiates. You know what's crazy? Most people think confidence is loud, shouting, showing off, bragging about what they have. But real confidence, it's the opposite. It's quiet, it's still. It doesn't need to prove a thing. Let me tell you something important. Confidence isn't about what you have. It's about who you are and how you see yourself. A man who feels strong inside doesn't need approval. He doesn't chase likes. He doesn't beg to be noticed. He's already proud of who he's becoming. That kind of man. He becomes magnetic. People feel it in the way he walks, the way he looks people in the eye, the way he stays calm when others are freaking out. And women? They feel it more than anyone. Because that kind of calm energy makes them feel safe, makes them feel excited, makes them wonder about you. And here's the wild part. You don't need to talk about your confidence. You just live it. You build it by doing hard things, keeping your word, finishing what you start, knowing who you are even when others don't get it. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. Owning your flaws, owning your story, standing tall no matter what. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't try to be someone you're not. And suddenly, she starts to think about you. She starts to feel you. And her imagination, it starts running wild. But wait, we're not done yet. What happens when your presence is strong, but then you become a little hard to find? That's where the next level begins. Wanna flip to the next page? The magnetic power of mystery. Let her mind do the work. Why do some people live rent-free in your head, even when they say almost nothing? Why can one short moment, one glance, keep someone thinking about you for days? Here's the secret. Mystery is magnetic, and it's your secret weapon. Let's talk about mystery. Not magic, not tricks, but the power of not telling everything. See, most guys think if they just open up fast, if they just explain their life and pour out their heart, they'll win her over. But no. That's not how it works. When you give everything too fast, there's nothing left for her imagination to play with. It's like reading a book where the last page is spoiled on page 1. Boring. But when you hold back just a little, when you let her wonder what you're thinking, when you're not always around, not always texting, not always explaining, suddenly she starts thinking about you more. Not because you're mean, not because you're cold, but because you're not putting it all out there like everyone else. You're different. You're the mystery she wants to figure out. You leave clues, not answers. You drop small moments, a kind smile, a thoughtful comment, a deep stare, and then you go back to your life. And that space, that little bit of unknown, it wakes up her imagination. She starts playing scenes in her head. Why did he say that? Where did he go? What is he thinking? And that's when you become more than just a guy. You become a story, a feeling, a question she wants to answer. But you're not doing this to play games. Nope. You're doing this because you're living your life. You're not explaining every move. You're not trying to be understood all the time. You're just being you and letting her mind connect the dots. And that's the magic, because when you leave space, she fills it with you. But here's the big question. What happens when your mystery meets your purpose? Let's find out on the final stage. Ready? When mystery meets purpose, the final piece of the puzzle. What if the reason she can't stop thinking about you isn't just your silence, your space, or your calm? What if it's because she senses you're going somewhere, with or without her? Let's bring everything together now. You've learned about detachment. You've seen how space creates desire. You've felt how calmness, silence, and self-worth pull her closer, not push her away. But here's the final piece. The one thing that makes her imagination run wild in the best way. It's not just your absence. It's not just your mystery. It's your mission. Yes, it's your purpose, your direction, your deep, unshakable drive to go somewhere in life. No matter who stays or who leaves. When a man walks with purpose, when he's focused on his path, his work, his passion, he becomes more than just attractive. He becomes rare. He becomes unforgettable. Because women don't want to be your whole world. They want to be a part of a world that's already rich, powerful, and moving forward. When she sees you're not standing still, not waiting, not chasing, she feels something inside. She wonders, where is he going? Why does he feel so full even when he's quiet? Why does his silence speak louder than other men's words? The answer? It's your purpose. It gives your silence weight. It gives your space meaning. It gives your confidence truth. You're not empty. You're not playing games. You're full and moving and growing. And that, my friend, is how you hijack her imagination. Not by trying, not by chasing, but by living fully, calmly, and boldly on your terms. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to chase. You just need to become the man whose presence and absence both speak volumes. That's Stoic power. That's peace. That's attraction without effort. And that's the end of this story, or maybe just the beginning of yours.